Captain Handa, I know you can't say very much, sir. It's still a very, very sensitive issue. So I wanted to give you a chance to say your piece, on a day that brings some relief. A death sentence being commuted is not something small. Must come as big relief for you, sir. Captain Handa.
It is a very positive development, and we courtsmates are very happy with this news. We pray to God that our innocent friends should be released and they come back safely to our country. We hope and pray that things fall back in proper conditions and our friends are back with us. These officers have served the Navy with pride. They have spent about 25 years plus serving in the Navy, and they have done nothing wrong. And this is a step in the right direction.
Yes.
And we hope that they come back soon to us.
Captain Handa, how are their families doing? 8 families have been in great anxiety for, over a year now. I know, I do not wish to go into any details, but how are they doing? This must come as a huge relief to them as well.
Unfortunately, I am not in touch with the families, but I'm sure this is a news which is a good news and a step in the right direction.
Okay. Captain Handa, I'm going to ask you to stay on with us. And if you want to, add anything to the conversation, please just raise your hand and I'll come to you, because I know that there's not very much more than you can say right now, because this is a sensitive issue and you personally are acquainted with all of the people and you're also colleagues with them. Captain D.K. Sharma, who used to be spokesperson of the Indian Navy, is very well versed with, diplomatic issues as well. He has handled many of these personally as well. Captain Sharma, your thoughts on a day like this? I remember when we spoke about this issue last year, it seemed like, things were in a very dark place. It didn't look like things would move so soon. And now you've got this commutation. Thoughts, sir?
Well, good evening, Shiv. We have been in touch on this issue for the last 18, 19 months now, Shiv, and you have been the first one whom we discussed all these things. But yes, it's a great relief. But the point is that all of us are working towards getting them back.
Yes.
Whether you talk about the topmost leadership of the country when they went there in early December, I'm sure something must have happened. And that is what the first result is, commutation of the sentence. But now, let's see what kind of punishment is being doled out. And then how do we, fight the case? Our ambassador is in the picture. Consular access has been granted. So I can only see positives coming out of it, because the news which came in last month where, capital punishment was announced, it was quite dejecting. It was very, very disappointing. But now, within 4 weeks, we see some forward movement. And the biggest relief is that the capital punishment, the sword hanging on our heads, is no more there. So now it is a battle which will be fought by our legal teams. And the government of India, as you know, is rock solid behind. And I'm sure there will be a way out that we will get our people back. But how much time it will take, only, the procedures will tell us.
Okay, so there are lots of procedures ahead. Like I said, we don't want to overstate something like this. But, for a death sentence to be commuted, like Captain D.K. Sharma so rightly said, the sword of that hanging over the heads of these 8 men, at least that is not a worry for the moment. Sushant Sareen, I'd like to come to you because, these are extremely sensitive issues. It's easy to simplify them and simply call it a diplomatic win. But there are many wheels within wheels. There are many layers to the story. The allegations are of an extremely serious nature, allegations of espionage, reportedly on behalf of Israel, etc., etc. How do you see this? How do you interpret what has happened today, sir?
Shiv, let's be very clear. We don't know what exactly these people have been accused of. Nobody knows, right? It's only speculation that it's some kind of spying charges, something or the other. But nobody has actually, at least I haven't, I don't know about you, actually seen the charge sheet on the basis of which these people were first, given a death sentence. And we still don't know what are the bases on which they've accepted the appeals and commuted the sentence. Number one. Purely on the charges of espionage, I find it a little weird because uh, you know, what they are being accused of, you don't need these guys to do this. It could have been done in 500 different ways by the Israelis. You don't need, Indian ex-servicemen who are working in a private company to behave like James Bond out there. So I find it, I'm a little skeptical what exactly, why exactly would anybody want to use these guys? But I think what has happened over the last couple of weeks, months, since that death sentence thing was announced, is that not only did the government of India pursue the case legally, uh, you know, we, it was that we put in everything as far as the legal processes were concerned. But I think we also pulled out all the stops as far as the political and diplomatic aspect of this entire crisis was concerned. Very clearly, in the interaction between the EAM and the Prime Minister with their Qatari counterparts, this
Yes.
issue was being raised. And I think both sides have understood that this will put in such a bitter taste in the mouth if this thing carries on, that it'll ruin the relationship, which, as you very correctly said, that it's been a fairly profitable, mutually beneficial relationship for both countries. So I think everybody would want to put this, on the side.
Right.
So I think we used a diplomatic and political capital that probably played a role. I will certainly not call this a diplomatic win and do any chest thumping. I think, like everybody else on the panel today, we are all relieved that at least that sword which was hanging over these men has been lifted. Now the challenge is, how do we bring them back? There are two or
Right.
three ways. We will still have to continue plugging the diplomatic and political line and use the legal processes. But I think that one is that they can come and they can serve their sentences in India, and then they'll be subjected to the Indian laws, and they could get relief from the Indian courts. The second is that Qataris give them a pardon. But let's not kid ourselves, Shiv.
Yes.
There will be a quid pro quo. Okay. We are all
Yes.
mature people. We are not college kids who think that things happen because of the goodness of mankind and the milk of
Indeed.
human kindness. These are states dealing with each other, and these are ruthless states which deal with each other. So there will be a quid pro quo. I don't know what that is going to be. But to imagine that simply, the Qataris have suddenly got some warm corner in their heart, there would certainly be a calculation that relations with India cannot go sour. But there will have to be a quid pro quo. What will that be? I think we'll have to wait and watch. Nobody is going to tell us.
Yeah.
You and people like Gaurav and others can use your considerable skills and your contacts to try and ferret out what might be that quid pro quo.